Okay, so as long as David's here and he's got such great hip rotation, let's look at external hip rotation. Okay, so let's go with your arms down by your side. So because external hip rotation is, generally speaking, structurally so much more available, I'm not going to say there's less to watch out for, but there tends to be less little compensatory things that happen. So what I'll actually ask people to do is lightly dorsiflex the ankle on this one. The light dorsiflexion of the ankle prevents knee flexion from happening in this range. Okay? If the ankle is relaxed, there'll tend to be, I'm just gonna manually do this, there'll tend to be this sort of thing that happens. The slight engagement, so dorsiflex your ankle. So what I would ask people to do is just lightly pull their toes back toward them at like a 3 out of 10 effort level. Okay, so they're engaged. It creates some stiffness, but not too much through the limb. Okay, and now what I'm gonna ask you to do is turn your leg out, okay, on the hip. So femur turns out on the hip. Okay, and relax. So I don't know if any of you noticed at a certain point, and you might not have from where you're sitting, at a certain point, his femur stopped moving and his foot kept moving. Now I'm looking at the femur. I caught the foot out of the corner of my eye. This is why we want to pay attention to what we want to pay attention to, okay? Because if I was looking at this, he sort of went there, and then this stopped, and then this kept going, right? So that's like based on toes, that's like 10, 15 more degrees of range, okay? So I might say, can you try that again, but can you stop moving when your thigh stops moving, when your femur stops moving? That's about it.
Yeah, I feel the resistance on my adductor here.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's see what happens on the other side. And relax. Good. Try that again. Try to keep the knee a little straighter. As long as it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fun. Let's get you on the table tomorrow. And relax. What'd you notice? So is his left. So is his left. What else?
Greater external rotation on his right.
Yeah. That's what I noticed. Did you see that as well? Greater external rotation, more external rotation on this side. Did you see that?
I would have to see it again.
Okay.
I want to get a closer look, but
Take our word for it.
yeah.
There was, okay, so another one for study group on Friday, but if he's got more internal rotation on one side and more external rotation on the other side. So it's kind of like he's sitting like this, right? It's kind of sitting twisted, which is sort of cool. Now, is this something to correct? No, we're not correcting anything. I'm not calling him incorrect, particularly if you've got a high-level player, practitioner, enthusiast of a sport or game or martial art or activity of any sort that is largely asymmetrical. You could be doing them a disservice by correcting these sorts of things. Okay? Now, on the dichotomous flip side of that whole thing, that could be a big part of what led to the torn meniscus here. Unless the torn meniscus was just an acute, was it like a wear and tear thing, or was it like a?
No, it was like an incident.
Okay, so it was an incident, right? Now it still could be contributing. It's interesting because it's something to look at. It's not necessarily something to correct. So more on that in future study groups, because again, like I could spend till 2 o'clock talking about just this part of things. Hip external, hip abduction. Okay, I'm actually gonna keep you for this one because the torn meniscus for me is intriguing, okay?